It's been 9 months since Supercell has added Chuck to Brawl Stars. Among other brawlers, Chuck is definitely the best brawler in Heist, but are you a good Chuck or are you a bad Chuck? Well, regardless of your skill level, here's a deep depth analysis to become a better Chuck player. First map is Hot Potato, which is Chuck's best map. Let me show you why. Positioning of Chuck's poles are very important. One misplaced pole can ruin your whole game, so pay attention to where I place these poles. Your first pole will be in the top right of this box right here, and you can also stay behind this wall right here and place the second pole to the bottom right of the first pole. For the third pole, you want to go behind the L-shaped wall and place the third pole to the top right of the high safe. It's very important you get these three positions correct, because the last pole doesn't matter too much, it will go in the middle. Once placing down all these poles, you'll be able to go from the middle all the way to the high safe and hit the high safe twice to and from the safe. This is twice as efficient and deals twice the amount of damage. You can also do it like this, but it isn't realistic. When will you ever get the chance in a real game to go towards the enemy side? Heading into some gameplay footage so I can show you guys in a real scenario. Running a Larry on the left lane to keep any enemies like a Dynamite or a Rico away, because the first two poles are the hardest to place. You're very vulnerable to a Dynamite stun or any other throwers, so it's best that your teammate is a thrower on the left lane and any holding brawler in the mid or right lane is fine. When all three poles are set down, the last pole should be very easy to place, and once you get super, you can deal around 7,000 to 8,000 damage, which is around 8 to 10%. And on your way back, you also deal the same amount of damage. So one full rotation should be up to around 20% damage onto the high save, which is absolutely crazy. The second map is Kaboom Canyon, which is more challenging for Chuck, but here's some tips. The usual way is to take the tickets please star power and place only 3 poles, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to teach you guys a way that you've never seen before. You need to be very precise for this. The first pole is in the top right corner, in the top left of that top box right there, followed up by the second pole in the top left of the high safe, right onto the piece of grass, and your third pole will be in the bottom left corner of this left block right here, followed up by the fourth pole. It will be in the middle, doesn't really matter where it goes. If all poles are placed correctly, you should be able to hit the high safe twice, dealing 7,000 damage, around 8%, and with the damage gear you should be able to do 8,000 damage, 10% onto the high safe. But this is really hard to execute in the real game, so you may need to evaluate whether the first technique is better or the second technique is completely your choice. Heading into some gameplay footage of the 4-pole setup, and I'll be honest, it is very difficult to execute just because on this map everyone is applying pressure a lot. It'll be very hard to set up your poles like this, but when you do set it up, boy is it rewarding. The third map is Safe Zone, very straightforward pole setup. Let's get right into it. So you're going to go ahead and use the tickets please star power, because we're only going to use 3 poles for this. The first pole will be above the high safe, followed up by the second pole just by the little 2 lakes right here, and the third pole will be right smack into the middle. On this map, this star power is far better because there's only 2 entrances to the safe that the enemies can take. You're most likely going to hit one of them. This will mean that you get extra ammo that you can deal vital damage onto the enemy's high safe. If you're going towards the high safe, unfortunately you can only hit it once. But if you're coming back from the high safe, there is a technique that you can use to hit the high safe twice. Be careful what Chuck is targeting, because it could send you back to the middle without dealing any damage to the safe. Make sure you're facing towards the high safe and the target is at the top pole. You'll be able to hit the high safe twice, dealing 7,000 damage. Heading into some gameplay footage, we're going to go ahead and take the left lane and throw the first pole onto the high safe, following up by the second pole near the 2 little lakes right here, followed up by the third pole next to the 4-piece object in the middle. Once I get super, I'm just going to go back and forth to the enemy base, back towards my spawn, unleash my ammo while I'm at the enemy base, and it's pretty straightforward. Safe Zone is definitely the best map for Chuck if you're running a normal setup, just because how I mentioned earlier, there are only 2 ways that enemies can get out of their spawn, through the middle or on the lane, and most likely they will go down the middle. Regardless of Chuck's poles being there, they won't even care. We've gone over the 3 current ranked maps, but that led me to think, is 4-pole setup for double damage viable on any trophy pushing maps? The answer is yes. The fourth map is the brand new map Diamond Dove. In the beginning, the first pole will be in the top left corner of the high safe, followed up by the second pole in the top right of this top box right here. The third pole will be on the left of the first barrel right here, and the fourth pole will be somewhere in the middle, just trying to escape from the enemy high safe, so it'll be right here. There you have it. With one full rotation, you'll deal around 16% to 20% damage onto the safe. Make sure you get your pole set up correctly. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.